With the Tennessee Titans officially having been on the clock for nearly 2 weeks now, and the pre-draft screenings already out, and all the simulations already come into pass, and all the Super Bowl pre-drafts complete, there is one more pre-Super Bowl mock draft that must take place for the Titans. Want to find out how those mock draft results went? Stay tuned to find out on Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Welcome back, Gabbers. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Of course, you gabbing with the one and only Mr. CeeLo. And guys, I hope you all are doing exceptionally well out there, as I am doing well as always. But as we get started here, you know, the most exciting time of the year is right there along the moments where we get a chance to really sink our teeth into the NFL draft. And that's what I'm doing right now. Probably the most fun you're going to have. And, you know, I find myself having moments where I look back at the old Madden video game and you just simulate the draft and you try to get as many great picks as you do. And some are realistic and then some were more not. I would say the earlier Maddens weren't nearly as realistic as I would have liked them to have been. But hey, it happens, you know. But as I'm looking here and I'm attempting to go through this process of bringing these drafts up, we all got to get into the look of, if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, they're on the clock. They run this draft. And as a Panther fan, I knew what it was like 2 years ago to be at the top of this draft. And a lot of you are not going to like what I'm going to say if you're Titans fans. So I'm doing this draft from the GM of the Tennessee Titans. And as far as Brian Callahan goes, I'm pretty sure he's going to want his strong arm quarterback. I know people are going to... Mel Kiper Jr. has already gone on record as saying the right side was terrible. They need to get a tackle. I did not simulate that because Tennessee also needs an edge rusher. But I did 3, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm not suited to do what a lot of these other content creators do. I bring you content. You know, I try to bring as accurate and as up-to-date as I possibly can. I'm not going to wow you with a bunch of technological things, but I am going to wow you with my content. So I did 3, and I want to put you on as big a deal as I possibly can. A couple of these I really traded out. I will go ahead and I will tell you on one of these drafts, I got no assets, but I ended up with 8 players. And probably the one that many of you will probably be like, nah, will probably be the one that I ended up with a 26 second round pick from the Cleveland Browns and ended up with an Indianapolis third round pick at the end of it. And then the final one, which you guys will probably be very happy with, because not only did I satisfy all the needs that the Titans were able to get, but I also got 10 players. I was able to procure a New Orleans first, a Denver second, a New York Giants second, and a New England 5th. Oh, yeah. I killed the third one. But you may not like how high your first pick was, how low your first pick was. So let us go through and discuss a few things. Let us go through the very first one that I said, well, we ended up with nothing. I did trade back, and you guys ended up taking at the 6th pick. We ended up picking at the 6th spot, which Oakland took the first pick. I ended up taking the deal with Oakland. The Vegas Raiders. And in turn, we got the 6th pick, the 37th pick, which I traded, the 68th pick, which was traded, and then the 73rd pick, and we got Vegas' 2nd round pick. In return, we got Ted McMillan. Now, a lot of you are going to probably wonder, why did I go get Ted McMillan? Is because your quarterback, who is going to be drafted, it's going to need a big target. And when you see who I ended up getting, you're going to know why. Then I also traded back into the first round. As part of that deal, I retraded with the Saints. No, excuse me. Once again, the Saints received the 37th pick, the 68th pick, 142. That our first round pick for next year, Vegas' 2nd round pick, and Tennessee's 3rd round pick for next year. So I really did give away a lot of picks for next year. So I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, what did you do that for?
Dumb shit.
And then I turned around and I traded that pick to the Cowboys, who and the 73rd pick and our 26th 4th round pick. And we got the 12th pick, the 44th pick, and the 76th pick. I really did not a very good job of GMing on this one, guys. So we don't have a lot of picks coming up in 26. So yeah, this one was not a very good one. But hey, listen, I'm going to make up for it.
It's official. You suck.
And with the 12th pick, I ended up drafting cornerback Will Johnson out of Michigan. So the reality of it is, like I said, I'm going to give you these 3 mocks, because the reality of it is, this is where it's going to be. This one's not the one I would go with, but this is the one I tried my best to get it as equal as possible. Then, of course, with the 35th pick, I stayed there, and we drafted quarterback Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. Now, a lot of people are going to say, why? The dude has exceptional arm strength. He does have to improve his accuracy in intermediate throws, but the guy can throw it down the field, and he can run for miles. Teaming with him and Ted McMillan, when you also look at the fact that the Titans also have a group of receivers in Tyler Boyd, that you can make this work. I truly believe with Callahan's ability, they can make this a possibility, especially with Ted leading that group. Then let's move along to number 44. As one Mel Kiper Jr. said, you got to get an offensive tackle. And so enter in on the 44th pick, Josh Connerly Jr., the 6'4", 313-pounder, is NFL frame ready. While he shows significant potential as a tackle, consistency and improved footwork and strength are key areas for him to grow in the next level. So as we said, they got to show up that right side, and Cornerly is perfect for what you need. He's not having asked to be the left tackle. Then you needed an edge guy. You get Donovan out of Boston College, a guy who I really like watching. He's 6'2", 247. No player in this class has more weapons in their pass rush arsenal than he does. Could stand to sell a few of those weapons and become a master of just a few of them. His go-to move is an arm over, which is interesting considering his lack of height. However, he splashes in the run game consistently, which is something Tennessee had problems in last year. Then we had an issue as far as corner goes. So with the 77th pick, which I was able to trade up and was able to snag the 6'1", 179-pound Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech. He's skilled, instinctive DB who excels in man coverage, but also more than confident in the zone. He possesses fluid hips, quick feet, and strong closing speed, allowing him to stick with receivers and disrupt pass lanes. Strong's ball skills stand out as he consistently tracks the ball and makes plays on it in contested situations. He plays with physicality at the line of scrimmage, using his length to disrupt routes. He has a strong IQ and anticipates reading the quarterback and jumping routes, but can also be vulnerable if he mistimes the play or double moves. Additionally, adding strength will allow him to handle bigger receivers and further enhance his game. So that's another massive need that is handled here. Then you go all the way down to 133, Jabbar Muhammad out of another corner out of Oregon, who was an exceptional slot type guy. 5'9", 185, having played for Oklahoma State, Washington, and now Oregon. He's shown the ability to excel in different schemes, although he's undersized at 5'10". Perfect for a nickel roll situation there, Tennessee fans. And then finally with your 241, those are your 8 players. Jack Kaiser, linebacker out of Notre Dame. And if you guys know anything about Jack Kaiser, he is a 6-year player out of Notre Dame. Has a high character kind of guy, really sticks tackles well, is a good reader when you scheme him up against in defensive plays, a little above average in coverage, but very good tackling in open space. That, my Titans fans, is the first mock draft that I did. Now, this is the one where you ended up with the Cleveland 2nd and you ended up with the Indianapolis 3rd. Now, you ended up making a trade with the Cleveland Browns, whom picked Shedeur Sanders with the first pick, and you took the number 2, and they gave us the 33rd pick, the 67th pick, and the 94th pick. And their 26th second-round pick. So here we are. We ended up going out and taking Abdul Carter with this pick. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, why are we doing 3 months? Well, you want to pick every scenario. I'm one of those guys, I'm trying to pick is 3 different scenarios. Because if it were me, I'm trading out. I do, and I know a lot of you fans are going to say, no, take Shedeur or take Cam. Well, the problem with that is you have to be able to get as much talent as you can. And see, with this draft that I did, we got 7 players. Now, here's the thing. We got all 7 of our players in the top 100. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say is, how much of next year did we have to give up? It's a very good question. We will see. But the first things first, you did get Abdul Carter. Everybody knows him, the 6'5" monster out of Penn State, somebody who is going to bring immediate impact to that defensive front. Then at the 35th pick, that same thing that Mel Kiper was talking about, Armand Mimbo out of Missouri. You get this guy and you put him on the right side. He could even play left. Mimbo is a powerful, athletic right tackle who brings rare combination of strength and technique. A true standout at Mizzou, he thrived against top-tier pass rushers, proving himself as one of the most battle-tested blockers in the country. So there's your answer right there, Tennessee fans, 35th. And then with the 36th pick, I was able to trade. We had the 33rd pick. I gave the 33rd pick to the Jaguars. We took the 88th pick from the Jaguars, and we gave them our 4th round pick for next season. Then with the 36th pick, we were able to get Jalen Milroe. Now, with that being said, many of you are not going to like this, but I look at it from this standpoint. Yes, it's a project, but the reality of it is Jalen Milroe's legs make up more than enough for what he can do in the passing game. To me, Jalen Milroe was a much better thrower than Jalen Hurts at Alabama. So I'm not saying you can't fix this, but you'll see when you see who I took at 94, why we can make this work. If that's what Brian Callahan's willing to do. So then we go to number 67, and this is going to be a question mark for some of you. As we look over here in the trade, we took number 67, which would have been in the 3rd round, first pick, Isaiah Bond out of Texas. So many of you guys know Bond is one of the nation's top receivers with 1st round potential. Despite his stats since transferring from Bama, film shows his production was limited by quarterback play. Quinn Ewers has missed chances to capitalize on Bond's elite separation skills. Bond's game-breaking speed and elusiveness makes him a dangerous playmaker when given opportunities. So then you think about it from this standpoint. I know what people are going to say. Well, why would you want to pair him with somebody who's not nearly as good as Ewers? Well, here's what happens. His Milroe has shown a very good accuracy on deep balls. So if you can get Bond in situations where he's able to run by guys, and Milroe's never shown, he's hardly shown an issue throwing the deep ball. That's not a problem. Which leads me to the next point of drafting number 69, Savion Williams, out of TCU. Oh, excuse me. That's correct, TCU. He didn't have an ideal opportunity to show his full potential at TCU, but his rare blend, 6'5", 225 pounds, athleticism makes him one of the most intriguing prospects. With the right system, his natural ability could make him a standout player at the next level. And see, with the size that this guy brings to the table and Jalen Milroe's ability to sling it down the field, this is a nightmare for defenses. Callahan likes to throw it down the field, if you haven't noticed, with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and when Tyler Boyd. That's why it made such sense when Boyd was a free agent. You snatch him up. And, of course, Tennessee needed themselves a defensive back. So what did they do? So what did I do? I went out and I traded the 88th pick, the 103rd pick, and our third-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers to trade back and get the 75th pick, in which we used to get the 6'1" Dorian Strong. And also threw in quite a few other picks and to go along with all this as well, so I could procure these picks. So a lot of people are going to wonder, why did I give the lesser end picks here? Tennessee still got 7 players in this draft. The thing is, it's not about how many players you get. How many times do you see teams trade their 5th round picks or their 4th round picks within it all? And then with the last pick, which was the 95th pick, the 94th pick that we got from the Browns, we got running back Cam Scatterbo. Need I say more? Now, I know a lot of people say, we already got a running back in Tony Pollard. No, you don't. Pollard's a second back. He's not a first. I know everybody went crazy when they had the stats about him in Dallas and this, that, and the other. Cam Scatterbo is the guy. This is a dude that can get everybody excited at Tennessee again and make a lot of people happy if this was the way it went. But you've got 2 major wide receivers, one speedy, one athletic and big. And then, of course, you got Milroe. Now, a lot of you are going to say, did you do a mock draft with the quarterback that we possibly want? And the answer to that question is no. Because the truth of the matter is this. You can take Jalen Milroe and make him that dude. You can. This is not something that's going to hurt you appeasingly, but it can definitely help you across the board. If you can just get the ball down the field and run the football efficiently, the intermediate throws will come with time. His timing part will get there. He has to understand the game, and Callahan is an offensive-minded coach, so he can get him there. But now let's look at the draft where you didn't even have a top 10 pick, but you had 5 picks inside of the top 50. Let us look at, okay, first thing, we traded the number 1 pick to the New York Giants. We got the 3rd pick, 34th pick, 65th pick, 104th pick, and the Giants' 2nd round pick. Then once we got that pick, we've got the Colts' 9th pick, and we gave away our 2nd and 3rd pick for 2026, but we got their 1st in return. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, would you give away a 2nd? Well, because we got a 1st. Duh. All right, then we gave a 14th, 102nd, and 104th, and our 26th 4th round pick to Arizona, and we got the 16th pick, the 47th pick, and the 78th pick. Okay. Now, leading us up to pick number 16, who is Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina, the 6'3", 194-pounder, whom I absolutely love. I love big physical cornerbacks. Hopefully everything goes well with his rehab and his injured knee. A lot of people would say, oh, why would you take he's a specimen. I know people are going to say, what about Caleb Farley and this, that, and other? I get it. I understand. But the reality of it is you need a corner. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to get some good players out of this draft. You're not going to believe me, but I did some wheeling and dealing. And it's possibly going to make a few of you angry, but I did it. But I was able to trade back in after I traded away and got the 17th pick back. I gave away Indy's first, the 133rd, the 78th, and the 34th pick to the Bengals to get back in the first round. And I was able to, outside of trading the 17th pick and getting a Denver second round pick in the process, one that we still maintain. And with that, we were able to draft, guess what? Cameron Williams out of Texas. 6'5", 335-pound offensive tackle. He boasts arm strength, athleticism, and raw talent. 2024 was the first year he started, had growing pains, which are evident, and his tools and frame make him a first-round caliber tackle. Now, doesn't mean he goes to the left tackle. It means he goes to the right, where they were absolutely in trouble. Now, I don't know what the Titans are thinking. I'm going on the thought process that Callahan wants to rebuild with a new quarterback. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, why would Milroe? Why would you take Milroe with the second pick? Well, because as you're seeing, I can accumulate picks and get some really good players. Elite players don't help you. This is the thing I try to get people to understand. Elite players don't help you when you're far away. You're in a win now league, especially if you're a first-year head coach. And Callahan's a second-year coach now. They're not going to want to be sitting here in the first pick again. And I know a lot of people say, well, it doesn't make sense to get a second-year quarterback, does it? I think you let the coach do what they want, but if it were me and I'm in my second year, I'm going with Milroe because I can procure talent around this guy. That's what I need. That's what Tennessee needs. They need talent. They've got some very important needs. Tackle, edge, corner, and quarterback. Those are some of the most... Those are the positions that can destroy you as a football team. Tackle, quarterback, cornerback, wide receiver, and edge. Yeah. But then, of course, we go to the 35th pick, which is probably about where they need to take him at, is, of course, Jalen Milroe. I didn't move out of this position at all. I take him here. And then moving back in, I was able to look in here. Looking here. We had the ninth. We got that. The Saints made a deal with us. They took the third pick in which they drafted Cam Ward. We gave them the 65th pick. We got in return the 9th pick, the 40th pick, the 130th pick, and New Orleans first. So while people are sitting there wondering, oh, are we giving away certain picks? Yeah, we're getting first round talent now, because at this point, your first round pick should not be back here again next season. If you can procure as many first round picks as you can, which I did retain this one. And of course, we made a trade with the Cowboys once we got that 40th pick, and we were able to get a Rams 6th round. No, I'm sorry. We traded out, gave them the Rams 6th round pick that we had. And of course, we got the 76th pick and the 44th pick in response to that. And with that pick, we took Shamar Stewart, the talented edge rusher out of Texas A&M, 6'5", 281. I got some film on this guy. I love what I see. He's one of those guys, if you were in a 3-4 system, you would love him because you could play him on that outer side of the interior line, or you could play him on that edge. He's that nasty Myles Garrett size. You know what I mean? And it seems to be a trademark with these guys. But he's going to elevate if this is the way they want to go. And I know a lot of you are saying this is unrealistic. No, I had to do some reeling and dealing to get this one and this one. This is pro football. Pro football's simulation. It's not easy. It's not the NFL's or the ESPN one. That's just. I'm not even trying to fool with that. Then you got number 47. A guy has to have a playmaker. So let us start from the beginning. Tennessee gave the number 1 pick to the Giants. They got the number 3 pick, the number 34 pick, the 65 pick, the 104, and the Giants' second round pick. Then I traded the 9th pick to the Indianapolis Colts, who gave us the 14th pick and the first round pick. So we don't have our second and third next season. Then we ended up going to the Cardinals, giving them the 14th pick for the 102, 104, and the 26th fourth round pick. So really the only pick that's ours that we're going to maintain is going to be our first. There we get Xavier Restrepo, a guy whom is a record breaker at Miami. He has great ability to separate from defenses, getting away from defenses. Though he's never the fastest nor the biggest, he just plays with an unmatched heart and ball skills, which I absolutely fell in love with. And I'm sure if y'all get him, he will, you'll love him too. His flexibility and natural instincts are driving his climb up the boards, showcasing a future as a dynamic, multi-faceted threat, which he is. He's a great kid, and he's great to watch. I love watching this kid play. And if Milroe can get him the football, but that's going to be dynamic. Then we look in a situation where a lot of you will question why I did this, but it was just too high to take Scatterbo here. But Caleb Johnson had an incredible season, solidifying his spot in the NFL draft. At 6 foot 225, he's a rare mix of power and agility, like a picture with both a fastball and a changeup, where the breaking tackles are outrunning defenders. This guy here, if he's available and you guys can get him, with he and Milroe, ooh, and then you've got Scatterbo running down the field, ooh, yeah. Exactly the type of game breaker that you need. And the reality of it is, if you can get this guy and snatch him up, why not? Why not? That's all you need to say. Why not? And of course, we don't have our 6th round pick, but we have New England's 4th round pick. So making up ground, we'll have 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders that are not ours. We won't have a third. I know a lot of people are like, but if we can have high dollar players, hey, listen, it doesn't matter. That's not what people will say. You need players, you need this. Well, we're going to get 10 right here. So let's not get ourselves all worked up in this draft if that's what you're going to do. There's no need for that. There's no need to get all worked up about it. Then let's move forward to the 119th pick. Out of Iowa, it's going to be Jay Higgins, the 6 foot 226 pounder. Higgins thrives on instincts, vision, and relentless motor. Though he lacks ideal size, speed, his football IQ and urgency make him a constant presence on the field. The Iowa linebacker impacts all phases of the game, excelling in coverage, anticipating plays before they unfold. A true leader for the Hawkeyes, puts himself in position to displace. This is a guy that he would be huge on that back section. If they can get to a point where they're moving, where this defensive front can move people and make plays, this guy will fit in, because ultimately Tennessee's going to need a leader of that defense, and ultimately this guy is going to be the new wave for the future eventually. And I think maybe a year, maybe 2 of him playing special teams, ultimately that becomes a situation where that they start to analyze where this team is going to go from that side of the ball. Let us take a look at the 130th pick in the draft, which we procured from the New Orleans Saints deal, shall we? And looking at that could be a huge asset to this newly offense in Terrence Ferguson. 6'5", 245 pounds. He's a well-rounded, athletic tight end with the ability to contribute both as a receiver and a blocker. He possesses strong hands, reliable ball tracking skills, making him a dependable target in the passing game. His physicality and his technique as a blocker make him effective in both the run and pass protection, adding value as a complete tight end. He does need to work on his route running as he lacks the lateral. He projects a tight end 2 in the NFL, and he could prove to be a red zone specialist. That is an area that the Titans definitely struggled in last season. And that is not something you can take lying down when you can find a tight end target in the National Football League, and especially in the draft. But looking here at number 142, now you've already gotten the fast guy. Let's look at what you got here. At number 142 in Antwane Wells Jr. out of Ole Miss. Now, I understand that they don't have good track records, and I know a lot of you guys are going to look at me and say, why are we getting all these wide receivers? Well, let me help you with this. Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook, Tyler Boyd. Outside of that, Treylon Burks is on IR and has not shown he's going to be that dude. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he has not shown that he is that dude yet. And ultimately, Tennessee fans, I'm going to do another mock draft. This is just Tennessee Titan mock draft 1.0. I'm a guy that I like procuring assets. And Antwane Wells Jr. is a dynamic receiver known for his agility and his strong yards after the catch. 5'11", 215 pounds. I know what you're going to say. Undersized kind of guys. I get it. But the truth of the matter is you already have two dynamic receivers that can't get the ball. And this is where, to me, where Jalen Milroe is going to separate himself. He may not even start year one. And I know a lot of people say, well, what's the point of him being there? Well, I think they give Will Levis one more shot with the right tackle. That's what I truly believe. They're going to give him one more shot, and this is why Jalen Milroe is in the house. This is why he is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He is here to see if he can right the wrong. And this is why you trade back and procure the type of talent that you procure. Now, more than I will say this, Siobhan Rebel's stock could plummet if that physical evaluation comes back negative. And you can get him at a much higher rate, and that means this draft would change drastically if that were to happen. But we're going to have at least two more of these with the Tennessee Titans at the subject of all of this. But then let us go to the last pick, which is pick 241, Shiloh Sanders. Now, though he's not as athletic and fast as his father is, he will stick his head in there and he will get his head dirty. Now, there are some things that he is going to have to clean up if he is going to be a starter. They're not saying that he is going to be a starter. They're saying he's a safety looking to carve his own path to the NFL draft. While he's shown strong instincts and ball skills, he lacks elite athleticism and size to be an early selection. At 6 foot 195, he'll need to improve his versatility, particularly on special teams, to secure an NFL opportunity. That's very much true. But looking at that, he could be a major special teams contributor. And he may be fortunate enough to carve himself out a role in this Tennessee secondary because he will hit. He's got some instincts about him. It all just depends between Daryl Worley and Amani Hooker and Condry Diggs. You just never know. But guys, those are the three mock drafts that I have. I will attempt to screenshot these and put them up for you guys because ultimately what I really like about doing these mock drafts is actually giving people a perspective. And if you guys want me to do a mock draft where I actually draft Shedeur Sanders or draft Cam Ward, or if there's another particular player that you would like me to draft in the first round and then see how that goes from there. This is just how I would make things go in the first round. I don't think you need to take Cam Ward. I think you already know that this guy does not need to be starter day one unless you get an offensive tackle. And it's very difficult to get an offensive tackle when you can't get draft capital. I get it. You want to get him here and then get him here. But as you've seen, in each one of these drafts, you guys, you're able to get either a playmaker on one side of the ball or the other. Whether it's getting Ted McMillan and then getting Will Johnson out of Michigan, even though you don't have anything left next year. But as I said, I'm going to do one in a couple of weeks after the Combine, illustrating what would happen if you got Cam Ward as well as Shedeur Sanders. But ultimately, as I said, you guys, that's pretty much where it's going to be left at. You end up with Jalen Milroe as your quarterback. If you don't like that, please leave your comments down there. Oh, before I get up out of here, you guys, I got a little bit of housekeeping to do, just to let you guys know. I appreciate all of the love that you guys give me on the show. It's really grateful. I'm really happy that you guys like the show, and I'm got a few more of you guys to gab out, because you guys are just absolutely awesome. And then there are some of you that are just downright freaking obnoxious. Me with Duck commented, besides Derek Carr, we need anyone. Those are harsh words there. I'm not even a Saints fan, and ugh, that's kind of rough. Brittany Aaron, gab out to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining the program and subscribing. And then I had a bunch of Chiefs fans go off on me. So I will go off on you guys once the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl. Paul C. 254 said, the Texans are a good team. The Chiefs are a great team and proved it yet again on their way to their 7th consecutive AFC title game. I can dig that. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. I appreciate it. Me with a duck, thank you so much for your comment on the reel. And keep them coming, you guys. Please keep them coming. I'm always reading them. I just have a lot on my plate, and I'm trying to get you this great content, and appreciate all the love and support that you guys give me. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.